gonna be reviewing the movie ILLANG, the Wolf Brigade. This was a film back in 2018, and it's based off an old animated movie in the 90s. I'm not sure, correct me if I'm wrong, but it might have been a manga first and then an anime movie. I'm not 100% sure on that. Anyways, 20 years later, they made a live action film, being this one. This is made in Korea, or at least the language and everything is Korean. But I believe the original movie was, I believe the original one was in Japan. So they changed some things around. I've never seen the original one. We gotta do a review on it one of these days. The original one though is called Jim Roth Wolf Brigade. This one's called Ilang, the Wolf Brigade. But I hear like 80% of the movie is about the same on both. So this is the director. Is his name is I wrote it on the title here. What was his name? Can you see it on the title right there on your screen?
No,
It's
I
Kim
can't.
Jee-woon. Kim Jee-woon. I believe he also directed Ultraviolet back in like '05 or something like that. An
It
action
looked
movie,
familiar.
which
Yeah.
yeah, which I thought it was pretty dope. It was a pretty cool action movie. Okay, so I'm here. My bad, I forgot to introduce my co-star right here, Leo. So
Yeah.
what
What
you
up,
think?
guys?
So have you watched the original one yourself?
No, I never watched that. I never even knew that there was a previous movie. It was a good movie though. Um,
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was
I
what you think about the time on this? It was 2 hours and 20 minutes.
it was decent. Most movies are like not even an hour and a half. I mean, even if they are, I mean, that's perfect. 2 hours. 'Cause it wasn't like.
I got most movies nowadays be going 2.5 hours, 3 hours. I think they go longer than they should.
Uh huh.
This one was 2 hours and 20 minutes. I don't know. At parts, it felt like man, like the movie's still going. Like it felt like it was longer than it needed. I think 2 hours would have been better, but
On
I
this
don't
movie,
think. Yeah, I think 2 hours would have been better, but it was 2.5 hours almost. But I don't think the movie being longer, it didn't necessarily hurt it. It
it
didn't like,
didn't. No,
yeah, it didn't affect it. It didn't make it like worse or anything. But it was just
no.
like, Mhm.
It had a good plot to it, and everything was being performed like they were taking their time on letting the audience, kind of understand the perspective of where this movie was going to in a way.
Right, right. Now, what about the characters on this? They don't remind you of anything?
I seen them before. I seen those characters before. I mean, it reminds me of Dark Vader in a way.
Yeah, it
I
has a
mean,
little
the
bit of a
helmet,
Darth Vader look. It
the
reminds me a
helmets.
lot of that game Killzone. Killzone, the
Yeah,
Hellgas. The Hellgas,
yeah,
remember them? They
yeah.
look a lot like this. And a lot of people online said that this was ripping off the Hellgas and they're just copying Killzone. That this movie's
Yeah.
copying the Killzone, but it's because a lot of people don't know that this was originally an old school 90s anime movie. So the
20
anime
years ago,
movie,
right?
the characters looked like this on the cartoon movie, right? On the animated
Hmm.
movie, this is the way the characters look. So it's not copying Killzone, it's copying the old cartoon because that's the way they were drawn. And the cartoon was made like in 98, 99, and the video game was like in 2003, I believe, or 2004, somewhere around there. So technically, the video game copied the old cartoon of this.
Yeah, because that character looked familiar.
Yeah, but technically, the Killzone game copied the suits of the old cartoon, but nobody knew about that old cartoon because it was a Asian movie, right? It was from Japan, so I don't even know if it was released out here, so nobody here knew what it was copying.
Right. Makes sense.
Yeah, I found that kind of interesting.
Those guys were badass though.
Yeah, the costumes they were sick. I felt they were really good looking, and but I mean it wasn't a low budget movie. It was about $18 million, so it wasn't low budget. They had a good budget for it, and but then these costumes they look nice. I was really liking the way they look.
I
This
think
was filmed. This was by Warner Brothers Studios, I believe.
yeah, it was like by WB.
Yeah, yeah. It was. I thought the costumes were sick. They look menacing. They look very like evil. Now this group is the Wolf Brigade. They're basically like a counter-terrorist group. They go looking for terrorists, right? Stop
Yeah.
crime before it happens, before they do something. So I thought that
Mhm.
the reason the group exists and so forth, it's pretty cool for a pretty good reason. And they're very heavy duty. They're like a badass SWAT team basically. They're like the best of the best kind of.
And they got like they didn't show much of like their training, but their training was pretty intense. So it was pretty bad.
Yeah,
You know, they went through some hoops to to be part of the team.
yeah. And in the beginning, they had a whole group of kids, like girls and stuff. They were school girls in their school uniforms because over there in Korea, Japan, and all that, they wear those school uniforms. I
Right.
mean, they do it in a lot of places here in the States as well. But you could clearly see it's like an all girls school. They're all in their school uniforms. If you see the beginning of the movie, right when it starts, they show up and they're just slaughtering all the girls. Did you see that
That
part in the beginning?
yeah, that whole Bloody Friday thing got me kind uh, of lost there because I didn't understand. Like, I know it was supposedly like a mistake
Yeah,
that
yeah,
was
it was called
made.
Bloody. They called it Bloody Friday because it was an accident. They weren't meant to kill all those innocent, unarmed little kids.
Right. I didn't understand what went wrong there, but it happened.
Yeah, I guess the sergeant he gave. This is a story that's been told before. It's
Uh
been told
huh.
a lot of times. I believe it was originally. Correct me if I'm wrong, people in the chat. I think it was originally a story told by in an old war novel, like maybe Tom Clancy or maybe somebody else. I don't know, but it was in a. I think it was in a novel, and it's been told a million times since by different people, and they do their own twist on it. But yeah, so the sergeant gives the wrong order and they slaughter all the kids there. But really, once I guess they were expecting other soldiers or rebels or something. Once
Right.
they went there, they're supposed to back off. And this guy I guess he gave the wrong order or whatever, and they just massacred everybody anyways.
Yeah, they
So
did.
all the soldiers there have to live with that the rest of their lives. That wow, we just like slaughtered a bunch of innocent people. So we're just as cowardly as a terrorist that we're trying to stop, right? So now
Right.
no soldier wants to be labeled a coward because now they're labeled cowards forever, and a soldier doesn't want to live with that with being a coward. Like he wants to be a soldier.
For sure.
And yeah, so they killed all these people, and this
Did they
guy, I
did they
guess,
talk about like whatever happened to like all the other guys? Because during the movie they only focus really like on a few of those guys.
yeah, you're right. You're right. They focus on a few of them, and I don't think they talk about exactly what happened with everybody. But this is one of the surviving girls, and she's one of the main characters. Do you remember her name?
I don't remember her name at all. I don't even remember them saying her name once. If they did, it was probably like in a different language, like
Yeah, because it
Korean or
was this
whatever.
movie is Korean. It was in a Korean language, so it's kind of hard to gauge the acting.
Mm-hmm.
You can't really get a good grip on how the acting was or wasn't because a lot of acting is the way they deliver the lines and so forth. So here we can't judge the way we could judge the action scenes, but you can't judge the way they deliver the lines because it's in another language. So they have voiceovers. They have voice actors that did that voiceover in English. So how do you think the voiceovers did?
I think the voiceovers handled it. Yeah, they took care of it. I mean, um, I was able to understand everything they were saying. Um, they kept the story going. They did
I don't
well.
know. I thought the voice actors were average. I don't think they were that great. Like they weren't. The voice acting was okay, but it wasn't the best. It was very mediocre. Like they
Yeah,
didn't seem as into it as they should have been, or
it
as
took
they
me a
could have.
minute to realize. It took me a minute to realize that they were in their original actors' voices. Then I realized they're speaking a different language in the real movie.
Yeah. So this girl, she's one of the few survivors from that. From other girls that got killed, she was one of the survivors.
Oh, was she?
Yeah, she was one of the survivors. So
Oh
man, I
wow.
don't know. Some parts were confusing for me, or some parts I wasn't paying attention to because I don't know if I think they were trying to kill her. They were going after her to kill her.
They were trying to kill her. Yeah, they were using
Yeah,
her.
so I don't know if they were doing it because she was one of the survivors and she was gonna talk or something. Maybe
Hmm.
I'm not
I
sure what
think.
happened there.
I
That they
think.
were.
Well, I know that she was one of the girls. You remember the girl that blew up herself?
Yeah.
That was her sister, and
Okay.
that's why that soldier dude that was having the flashbacks went looking for her because some other guy had like a journal or some book or some belongings
Mhm.
that belonged to her sister. So
So it could have like
he
evidence
encouraged
there
him to go
about their
find her.
massacre.
Yeah, but I didn't know
Yeah.
that she was part of the massacre. I just thought that she was her sister.
Yeah, because in if they have a lot of proof and them massacring all those people, they become terrorists themselves.
Yeah,
Yeah, so what's it called? So they're looking for her and she gets in contact with one of the Wolf Brigade that he's already retired soldier or whatever, and he's in contact with her and they're I guess I don't know if he knows that they're trying to kill her, so he's there to save her. And it's crazy because you see her wearing red right here, right? You see her wearing
right.
red, and they tell the story about the wolf and Little Red Riding Hood,
Yeah,
and she's wearing red, so she's like a play on Little Red Riding Hood. But here the story's the opposite because here the wolf is protecting her, not trying to kill her.
that's right. Yep. I caught on to that part. I think what was going on, it was I think she had made a they had bribed her or something because remember she had a brother,
Mm-hmm.
like a little brother or something like that. And I think that one dude that was like whatever whoever he was that was sitting in the front of that car seat had made a deal with her that um I guess her brother was sick at the hospital and I guess he was supposedly taking care of him for her monetarily or whatever he was doing. So she was like, like giving him some kind of information, and she was basically working for him, but like he was forcing her to do it, treating her like shit.
Mm-hmm. And the main guy, the guy that was trying to send the squad after him, he was always known as the like kind of like the idiot that gave the wrong order, right? And he's
Right?
like trying to cover his ass. So now he's trying to, so that's he's the antagonist. So he's basically trying to get rid of her, and now he's trying to kill he's trying to kill the main character also, the guy protecting her. He's going after him too because he knows too much. Basically, I guess he was part of that group of that squad, right?
He was, yeah.
Yeah, so I think he's in the same page as her. He also wants to give up information and I guess to make himself feel better, he wants to put it out there, all the stuff they did, like the horrible thing they did. But in doing that, it's
Yeah.
gonna make the sergeant look bad. So the sergeant's sending his whole team to try to kill this guy.
But even the main character, like they didn't really expose much of it of his like persona until the end. He was pretty hardcore. He was like he had to have been like a top dog on the squad. Like one of the
Yeah,
good ones.
yeah, he
Like
had to be one of the top guys. He had one of the best training and stuff. He was allowed. He was above average from the other Wolf brigades.
yeah, he had to been. Because I think that was the problem that other guy after him had with him, that he was jealous of him for some reason.
Yeah, because
Like
he
I
was
guess
probably. Mhm.
because I guess he was like better than him or something.
Action scenes and stuff like that, and all the background and storytelling happens in the end where they start revealing more information.
I think what was going on there, that they kind of they kind of plotted this and let the audience just, if you used your imagination enough, they kind of their setting was kind of like a to me it was like, okay, this particular part of their country, wherever they were at, they were kind of like I'm gonna say like quarantine type, like nobody
Hmm.
was allowed to be outside and everybody was afraid maybe. So anything that was happening like war style, like they had like like their leaders, and they had like their little squads of like terrorism or whatever they were doing. Uh, but I think that was that's why probably they were going under the sewage on those tunnels.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I don't know why they were going down there because most of the action happened down there. It didn't happen like outdoors.
Yeah, yeah. Well, other Wolf Brigade action happened under the sewers. There was a lot
Yeah,
of action in the movie that was above ground, but Wolf Brigade never showed up above ground. They're always underground. So it
underground.
lets
Yeah,
you know that they're like a mysterious group that's not. They're like in the shadows. You're not really society's not really supposed to know about them.
right. But I think those tunnels were awesome though.
Yeah,
That was a good.
the tunnel scenes were good. What do you think about that scene with the cars? So
Oh, with the
where
cars.
yeah,
Ah,
it had some good
yeah,
moments in it, but then it had like there was the part how it ended where he's pointing the gun at him, and the other guy has he's pointing a gun at him from so far away, and the other guy has like a million soldiers, and he's scared of him.
the part that kind of for me, the part that kind of effed it up for me would have been like when all the cars were black, but they knew that he was in car three, and it's like, which one is really car three? It's like, how would you know that?
Yeah, yeah. How you know which car's which when they're all basically the same?
Yeah, and I think that one. I don't know if I'm being picky or not, or maybe being stupid about it, but I think that was kind of lame.
Yeah, yeah. I get you. Yeah, it was yeah, there was parts of the car scene that had some cool action scenes on it, but I also didn't like the you didn't like that part. And I felt the way the scene ended when him
They
pulling
could have
the
just
gun from
left it
the
like,
car. Like that scene, I
they,
think it was meant to look badass, but it ended up kind of looking kind of weak as well.
yeah. I
The,
mean, the stunts and everything was good. I just think that if they would have left like, oh, he's in car three, like if they would have left that out, it would have been like more like, okay, he's here.
right.
And that's it. That's all we need to know that the guy's here. But when all
Yeah.
the cars were black and it's like car three, it's like the car didn't even have a three on it.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't. Yeah, I get what you mean because yeah, they all look similar. Yeah, and I know that ending where he does like a spin on the car and then he has a car pointing straight at the other guy's car and he's pointing a gun at him. I
Oh
know
yeah,
that
yeah.
looked like very badass, and then get that guy to get out of his car, but it looked it weak to me. It didn't look like I wasn't sold on it on that scene on the finishing.
Nah, the other than their communication over the phone, that was kind of like Japanese or Korean. That was kind of like something that they would do. Like,
Yeah,
oh, I'm
yeah, well,
standing right
yeah,
here.
yeah. Talking to yeah, he calls him on the cell phone and he has his number.
Yeah, that was, I don't know. It was good. It wasn't bad. Nothing against that whole scenario.
Yeah, that
It
scene to
was
me was kind
good.
of yeah, because you could tell they spent good money on that scene. It was very to me.
Yeah, because those cars got destroyed,
Yeah, yeah,
and then there's no way Car Three made it through all those scenes.
yeah. Then I don't get what happened with that one girl that had like blonde hair, kind of, and she grabs the other girl in the alley. She grabs
Oh
the
yeah, yeah.
she grabs
I
this
think
girl in the alley. But then that character only comes out one more time in a scene in the police station, and you never saw her again. And I guess
I think
she was one of the girls
uh,
that was in that massacre thing and that Bloody Friday.
I think she ended up getting like a 2,000 or $200,000 check or something like that towards the end of the movie.
Okay, but what about in the interrogation scene story?
It was just about the story because yeah, even up to that point, I didn't even know where she came from.
Right. Yeah, yeah, she just came out of nowhere. But she explained in the alley that she was one of the she was talking about the Bloody Friday as well because she was also a girl right there.
Yeah, that's when they were kind of like they were holding it down for each other, but they were like, oh yeah, I'm down with you, and I know you're down with me, but we have our differences at this point.
Right.
I think that's what that scene was all about. And how what the other girl, the blonde, she knew that this girl was like um selling out information.
Right, right.
And her friend, because they were friends, she knew that they were using her and they were trying to kill her as well.
Yeah.
So she was kind of looking out for her after all, because on that one scene,
I don't know.
when
She
they were
came
on that
off
tower.
kind of like she came off kind of like a villain. Because remember when she walked away from her, she said, "You better watch your back, bitch."
Yeah. Yeah, she
Remember she
did.
told her that?
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, that was crazy. So to me, I was like, I don't think she had that girl's best interest. Like she was against her, but I think they were both in the same out for the same thing. They were both on the same side, but they didn't know they were on the same side because like she didn't trust the other girl. She thinks the other girl's out for herself, working with the main sergeant that sent those bad orders back in the day.
Yep. Wasn't he from like the police enforcement or something like that?
Yeah,
Is that what they were called?
yeah, they're kind of like an FBI agent group or something.
Yeah,
But
because
he's
you
at
had
the end
like
of the day, he's like a captain or something, and the sergeant was.
yeah, because that was another thing that kind of had me going. I was trying to figure out who sent the. You remember the scent?
Yeah, because
And
there
then
was a
they
guy
had like
above him. The main antagonist, there was a guy above him sending him, remember? So he was taking
yeah,
orders from the other guy.
right. Because you had like three squats. You had like the scent that supposedly disappeared, you know, and then you had like the police enforcers, which was this guy's right, the robot looking guys.
Yeah,
That was them, right?
yeah, they're the Wolf Brigade, but then, yeah, they're the ones that, they're the ones that work for that guy that's trying to catch and I can't remember the main character's name, but yeah, the guys that are trying to capture him, they're the Wolf Brigades, I guess. Like, they were, but he was the main. No, no, wait up. They didn't work for the Wolf Brigades. Only the main guy did.
Only the main guy did.
Yeah, only the main guy, the one that said the main villain did, and the main guy, but also the main
Uh-huh.
villain, because he was their sergeant. But all the other guys is
Yeah.
different. It's a different group. They're just like FBI agents or something. They're
You
a
talking
police.
about that? You talking about that one guy that had the scar on his side of his face, right?
The main guy that's following them everywhere. Like in the part where they were talking on the cell phones with each other.
Yeah. Oh,
And
that
the
guy.
car scene,
Yeah.
that guy, yeah, he used to be Wolf Brigade. Used to be their sergeant or whatever.
Yeah,
The
he
villain
was.
right there. But all the rest of the guys never were. They were just police enforcers.
Ah.
So they don't even know. But like they hear about the Wolf Brigade, but they don't know what's up with them.
Yeah, because all those wolf guys, um, they ended up covering their faces because of shame, right?
Is that
They
why
were
they cover their
ashamed of it.
faces? I thought it was just because they wanted to be on unrecognized so that people don't come after them.
No, it was because part of it was because they were ashamed of it and they didn't want people to see who they were.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I know
so
about that part. I missed. I didn't. I didn't notice that part.
it happened towards the beginning of the movie after the massacre, and then they introduced them, and then they talked about it for like a second, about like, oh, and this is how the wolf pack or whatever became, and this is how it happened, and because of it, they ended up covering up their faces because they didn't want to be, recognized.
Okay, yeah, I wasn't aware about that part.
Yeah, maybe I'm wrong, but I think that's what they said.
Okay, yeah, and then at the end, you never know he was part of the. I guess you saw him have nightmares about the Wolf Brigade and about the massacre in
Oh
the
yeah,
beginning. Yeah, but they never actually like hinted. They never said that he was part of the Wolf Brigade until then when they go underground. Remember, towards the end, they go back underground. He takes her under the sewers, and
right.
this other guy tells her, he's Wolf Brigade, and then he tells her he's not a he's not a human pretending to be Wolf Brigade. He's a Wolf Brigade pretending to be out there with the regular humans. And then
That's
he
right.
tells,
Yeah,
remember he tells her that, and he goes, "So what I'm trying to tell you is, what he is at heart is a, a Wolf Brigade, a soldier."
yep.
Yeah, that was crazy when he told her that. Then he shows up with the whole fucking uniform. And this scene right here, this picture, is when they're trying to get him. He's taking down the whole. This is where the other action scenes happen. He's taking down the whole fucking police squad by himself once he puts his uniform on.
Yeah, he
He's
was
just
badass.
like, and they put these bombs right here. This is a good scene because it moves in slow motion and he's trying to escape all those explosions.
That was at least eight of them.
Yeah, this was one of those scenes that cost a lot of money But the director, it was like the money shot. Like here we're spending a lot of money, so make sure we get it right. I thought it
Oh
came
yeah,
out pretty good, and then he did a good job running with all that heavy uniform and everything.
yeah,
It wasn't CGI or special effects or anything. It was like a guy in that costume running. It was like a good old school. It had an old school feel to it, like as far as the way they used to do movies back in the 80s and 90s, where now you just do computer graphics all the time for all the big scenes. This had a
yeah.
good old school feel where like you actually had a guy in the suit and actual explosions. It wasn't CGI or anything. It was like actual special effects they did manually, which I thought that was good. I'm a fan of doing that whenever they can. There's a lot of directors that are still that way. They like things to be done authentically, not through a computer.
Yeah. Well, that was a good scene though.
Yeah, yeah,
They
it was
thought
a
they
good.
were gonna get him.
Yeah, yeah. You thought they were gonna get him, and he
He
fell
was
right there
dead.
too. Then they hooked him. They shot that hook on his leg and dragged him. Remember?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, you thought they had an upper hand on him, but he was still putting in work. The whole
yeah.
action scene there, it went by fast because it was good. It was good.
That was a big hook too.
Yeah. But see, that's
Yeah,
another thing. He gets that hook, and then the rest of the movie, he's walking around like nothing. He's not even limping.
yeah, he was hardcore on that part.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was
because I
kind of
was
stupid.
hoping.
Like, see, that
Yeah,
was
because
little,
after the.
little. They don't pay attention to detail in this movie with a lot of little things like that. Like there, he would be walking limping the rest of the movie, and in fights, he would show how it affects him. So that's not good
Yeah,
storytelling as far as the action.
yeah. On this movie, he was like he was keeping it hardcore on it. I guess it didn't affect him at all. And
Yeah,
that
like
thing
he
was
gets up and yeah, after they hook him, he gets back up and he's like normal. Like you'd be in some
walking,
pain.
running.
Yeah, you show that it affected him somehow, and they didn't do that, which was kind of whack.
I think it kind of fitted his character because he was supposed to be hardcore.
Yeah,
I mean, it would have been kind of wacky, like if he would have just been limping and next thing you know, he's just getting bombed on.
yeah. I'm not saying he should have got bombed. He should have been still won, but he should have been limping like the rest
A
of the
little
movie.
bit.
That'd be good acting.
Yeah.
I don't
I
know.
think the thing is, I think there was a scene when where he was training and they had like all this equipment on him and he was like in a treadmill
Hmm.
and it makes sense, like all that's what the intense workout that I was talking about that they probably worked out a lot, um, in order to carry all that armor around,
Yeah.
because they were running like it wasn't a thing. I mean,
No,
I'm
why
sure that.
after that whole tunnel scene? After that whole
Uh huh.
tunnel scene, he finishes slaughtering that main captain from the police department, the one that sent the bad orders back in the days.
Oh yeah,
Where
yeah.
he took out the whole squad. He took out the whole squad, and once he did that, why did that main sergeant from the Wolf Brigade said, "Okay, now we gotta take the girl." Like the other guys with the police officers were trying to kill her. They shut her up, and now the Wolf Brigade they want to kill her too. The sergeant from the Wolf Brigade was saying, "We're gonna take her and have her sent her to the firing squad."
I think it was because they weren't supposed to know. Like nobody was supposed to know who these guys were. I think it
Okay,
had to do
so
with that.
yeah, because that didn't make sense to me. I was like, she's no threat. She's a nobody. Like, why the fuck do they even care? Like, I guess they're so worried about shutting her up too. But I was like, she would probably be grateful that they saved her because the Wolf Brigade killed all the police officers that were trying to kill her. So she was probably gonna stay quiet and just be grateful, because they saved
Right.
her life. So why after saving her life, then they're like, oh, now we're gonna go take you and shoot you down in the firing squad? That to me that didn't make sense. That was
It
kind of
did. It, did,
stupid.
it didn't make sense to me either, uh, because of the fact that for once, like he was rescuing her, and she was like a victim, I would say. But there was also like after the tunnels, I remember how they were pulling all the dead bodies out of the tunnel,
Hmm.
and then he basically told this guy, "Oh, I'm not gonna kill her right here and put her with the rest of the dead bodies. I'm gonna take her
Yeah,
somewhere else."
he sent it to a firing squad, which is what's on the picture and on the screen. He turned it to a secluded area, and he had a firing squad that was about to kill her. And the main character shows up right here, whatever his name is, and he's here on the right side. No, yeah, he's on the right side, and he's here to stop the guy on the left, the guy that was gonna shoot her down. So he turns
Yeah.
on him. He turns on him to save her. Says, "Well, there's no need to kill her. Why do we need to do this?" And they turn on each other. So they have one more final battle. Where you thought the final battle was with the other guy, which that was the real boss battle there. But they added this
Yeah.
last one. It kind of this one felt kind of forced, like thrown in at the end, like, oh, now fight this guy, another Wolf Brigade versus Wolf Brigade, right?
I don't know. This battle to me it was like a surprising battle because I didn't see this coming.
Yeah, I didn't
You
see it
know,
coming either. I thought the
and
movie was over when he killed the other guy. I go, there, you killed the big bad, and I thought it was a wrap. The movie was done. And
that
this,
was
and
still
I
like
didn't,
20 minutes.
yeah, I didn't see, yeah, and there was still like 20 minutes left. That's what was this battle. I didn't see this one coming at all either, but it felt very like uninspired. Like they just threw it in
Yeah.
there at the end, like, oh, let's make them fight another Wolf Brigade. That would be kind of cool. Like they just did it at the end, and like not even thought of. Like they just added it there at the end with no actual thought behind it.
Well, I think there's gonna be like a second round of this because like he also told this guy like if you choose to live, you choose to die or something like that.
Hmm.
And when he turned around, he was pointing the gun at him, and he shot around, but you didn't see him die, So I
Hmm.
thought he killed him, but he didn't, you know.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah,
like what happened there.
yeah. This last scene, it felt very uninspired to me. Like I said,
I, I
it
think they
felt kind
left
of
it
whack.
open for like a second round, like maybe there's gonna be a part two someday.
Yeah, it could be. I thought the first battle on the tunnels, it felt very like yeah, he got shit done, and it felt like that felt like the real ending of the movie. To
Yeah,
me,
because
that's what
that
the movie felt like, the ending of the movie. This last scene, it felt very anticlimactic. Like they built up something.
for the second part.
Right, right.
Just for the simple fact, the girl ended up leaving on a train. He didn't get shot. He didn't kill him. They're all three of them are still alive. You
Hmm.
know. So
So you think there's gonna be a part two? I mean, what could you really do on a part two? Though it seems like the story's been told.
I don't know. I don't know what could it be. Like
I feel like they didn't. That's one thing. I don't feel they left any like loose ends or anything just because the story was so linear. I didn't feel there was
right.
loose ends like where you leave stuff unexplained where you can make a part two to explain the stuff that they didn't explain. But I feel like there wasn't anything unexplained here. I felt everything got resolved.
Yeah, because they did take care of that.
Yeah, because
But
for it to be a part two, you'd have like one of the guys get away or one of the villains like plotting something and you see him at the end that he's still there and you're like, oh, there's gonna be a sequel. But here there
right.
was nothing. There was like nobody left or anything. He killed everybody.
Yeah, he did. I don't know. That's just what I felt like on this last scene. It kind of left it open. I feel like I don't know because it just ended. After that,
Yeah.
she
So
jumped on the
what?
train and then they were gone.
So what would you give the for the action scenes from 1 to 10? What would you give the action?
I think I'm not gonna give them a straight 10 because but I think they get like a 7 or 8. Because they were
Yeah,
good scenes.
yeah.
I
I'd give
mean
the
they
action.
weren't
I thought the
well.
action was.
I mean
I
they
thought the action was solid. I really liked it. I give the action probably like close to a 9. I thought the action was pretty sick. It was good. It was solid.
from watching like other like Japanese or Korean movies on Netflix. I think
Hmm.
this one was really good. Like the story was good. Uh, it had me hooked.
Yeah,
It had
yeah.
me
I thought it
paying
was
close
good too.
attention.
Yeah, I'd give the story like a 8. It was good. It just no, and it had a little bit of. It had some depth to it too. It had different things going on that you constantly got new information revealed to you. So it kept you, how you said, it kept you hooked.
Exactly, yeah.
I thought the
It
story
was
was good. Yeah, I thought the story was good. The acting is, it's just hard to gauge with the acting because it was voice acting. It was the voiceovers, so it's kind of Like that kind of threw me off in a way. It's a Wolf Brigade, I guess.
Yeah, I
Yeah, so
mean, like,
the character development was the one weak part, but everything else, the story, the action, everything else was solid.
yeah, I think they were just focused mostly on like, I think four of the characters for the most part.
Hmm.
I think
Yeah,
it
that's
was
not bad. I don't mind when they just focus on a few characters. That way, you give them more camera time. Because sometimes when you focus
right.
on like 30 characters, they can be kind of whack too.
Yeah, it
'Cause, yeah,
can.
yeah. So I don't know. What would you give the movie in total?
Uh I really liked it. It was good. You know, I'll stick with the 8 and 9. I
Yeah,
really like it. It was good. It was a good movie. And I it could be because I was excited to do a review on it, so I watched it twice, and I didn't have a
yeah. It
problem
was.
with watching it twice. You know.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. I'd probably give it like a 8.5. I thought it was really good. I need to watch more of these underground, well, not under, well, they're underground for American audience, but more of these movies that are from like other countries and stuff, foreign movies, more of these foreign movies, and then more of these movies like this that are based off of anime and manga, and they're made into live action. Because now out there in the Eastern world, they're doing a lot of what the Western world is doing. How they're making all the comic book movies into live action movies, like
Mhm.
that. So on the description down below, there'll be a link to my Facebook page, my Twitter, my Instagram. So go ahead and follow my Facebook page, and now announce when we'll do our next movie review. That way you don't miss a beat. You want to say anything else? Any last words you want to say before we end the broadcast? So
Thanks for
you
watching,
give it
guys.
I give it an 8.5. You give it an 8, right?
I gave it an 8 in between a 9. Yeah, it was a good
Yeah.
show.
So definitely recommend it, guys. Worth watching.
Yeah, take your time watching it as well, because
Yeah. Any
you,
comments that you've seen it before? Let us know what you thought in the comment section down below. And other than that, oh yeah. Also, if you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button so you can stay tuned for future content. That way you don't miss any future videos. You'll be updated on your feed. And yeah, like I said, if you've seen it, let us know in the comment section what you thought about it, any opinions you had, and any movies you'd like us to review. Let me know in the comment section. Other than that, we'll check you guys out next time.